It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, on today's episode, I am reaching back into the Daily Doug vault and I am sharing with you a reaction that I recorded back in April. This originated on my Patreon. Friends, every month we do a fan favorites countdown style video, and in this particular month in April, we were celebrating International Jazz Month with our favorite jazz classics. And Take 5 from the Dave Brubeck Quartet won the poll. And of course, I had heard that song previously, but I took this opportunity to hear it anew with all of the people in the community, and we did a little bit of a formal analysis of it as well. So it's a great one. I had to share it with the YouTube audience, and so today is the day. I hope you enjoy my reaction and analysis to Take 5 by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. So, we're here. Last one. The one that won the entire poll by a big margin. Y'all were sure to include the Dave Brubeck Quartet and Take 5. And this one comes to us from Me You. He says it's one of the highest selling jazz pieces of all time. Notable, of course, for its unusual for the time meter of 5/4. So I have heard Take 5. I've heard it, but it's been a while, and it's one of the great ones, right? So it's great for me to come back to it today. It's originally from the album Time Out, which was released in 1959 by Columbia Records. By the way, 1959, we've had a couple from 79, and let me go back through here. Hang on a second. The Vince Guaraldi one was from 62, right? But the John Coltrane one was from 61. Huh. Yeah. How about that? Interesting. Anyway, so this was released in 1959. And it was written by Paul Desmond, who is the saxophonist of the group that originally recorded it. Joe Morello, who was the drummer of the group, had requested that they do a song in 5 for the band to play, and he came up with some rhythmic patterns in that meter. And then Paul wrote the melodies on top of Morello's rhythms, and then Dave Brubeck finished the arrangement. And so they've got Gene Wright joining Dave and Joe and Paul on the bass, and we get the Dave Brubeck Quartet and this very classic tune. It is called Take 5, and it goes like this. Here we go. E flat minor. So we get this intro. And I would call this A because it's the first motive and theme that we hear. Call this B. It's something different than A. So back to A. So an ABA, right into solos. And this advance. So the saxophone's done. So this becomes, I thought the drummer was going to bring him in. It's been a while since I've heard this. This is like a drum solo. Keyboard now takes the lead in maintaining the groove in 5 that allows the drums to be more free through here. I like it when we get a little bit of bloom from the drums and they're not mic'd so super tight. You allow that you know it's real drums being hit in a room and you can tell. I've especially always loved the sound of the toms. Okay, so it got pretty darn quiet. And one of them cued the rest and said, okay, we're starting again with A. So the B section, so A, B, and A again, right? The B section is in the relative major. Cadence is on G flat before it moves back to E minor. It works so well as a featured piece in 5 because it maintains that really clear pattern the entire time, right? Even with all the syncopation and all the stuff around it, it maintains that it maintains that the entire time. And it's so well constructed. So because I've heard it before, as I started, I'm like, okay, let's kind of do a formal listen. This is something else that we do in music school. We'll put on a symphonic movement or a movement of music and say, can you track the form just by hearing it? You know? That help, if you can learn to do that, it helps inform your listening, especially with bigger pieces, especially in symphonies, right? It's kind of learning how to listen to that longer music. It was a very helpful class that I had in undergrad. But as they started here, we've got the intro. I think they do like 8 bars just to get it started, and then it starts into this A theme. It's in E flat minor, and then when it goes to the secondary theme, the answer to that, you call it B because it differs from A, right? And they move the key. Makes sense, from E flat minor to G flat major, the relative major, the key that shares the exact same notes in the scales that they've been playing. So they don't have to change the notes that they've been playing. The home bass just changes, right? Lands on a major chord instead of a minor chord, and then it just flips back into E flat as it goes A, B, A, and then it's a saxophone solo and then a drum solo. They do the exact same ABA structure again, and then an outro. And that's their piece. And it's a classic. It is an absolute classic, right? I mean, there's just something to that groove, that consistent groove that gets us kind of accustomed to this asymmetrical beat. I mean, normally our meters are symmetrical, right? Especially for 4. It all breaks down evenly. But when you've got, 2 beats plus 3, or even 3 beats plus 2, and it goes back and forth, it gives you that uneasy feeling, right? Or it's like you're dancing with the peg leg until you get used to it. But one of the absolute greats of the jazz idiom, and I really, really did enjoy going through that entire countdown. We had all bangers of jazz classics in that countdown. It is still over on my Patreon. I invite y'all to become members over there, patreon.com/Doug Helvering. If you are a member at the second tier or higher, then you get access to all of these videos, and I spend a lot of time trying to put my best into them, and these fan favorites videos are actually quite fun. We involve the community for the submissions. It goes to the entire community for upvoting, and then we figure out what comes to the top. And normally we end up with some really fantastic music for me to hear all in one sitting at the end of each month. So that's available for y'all, along with a whole host of other great content. It's patreon.com/Doug Helvering. So that is all for me today, my friends. I thank you for being with me as we've been hearing Take 5 from the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.